Hi friends, welcome to Wildflower Farm. Another exciting day here. So let's give an update on hi kitty. Let's give an update on what I got done in the garden beds yesterday. It wasn't as much as I wanted to get done, but I'm happy to have some progress. So this is a brand new gardening space. I've been gardening for 30 years now, and this is what I would do if I was setting up a brand new garden space. So I hope you, hi kitty, all the cats have come out. Hi kitty. I hope that you can gain some information, some confidence about what you're doing. Basically what I've done is these are 4x2 beds, and I went and bought compost from the city. Obviously you can buy from your big box store. It's a lot cheaper to buy from the city. I got a cubic yard, and it would fill 4 of these beds. So way cheaper. It would have cost about $80 to fill one of these beds with compost from the store. And that was way cheaper. Now you have to have a truck and then they bring it in. Also, I've topped it with horse manure, which we paid $50 for a truckload, which is over there. And I just bring it over and put about an inch. I mix it into the topsoil. And these hoops here are just rebar with some plumbing, flexible plumbing. And these will move. I'm going to move these. I was just setting them up to see if they would work, but I will be moving them to these beds over here. And these, I'm going to use these ones to like trellis things up. Tomatoes and probably okra. It's super windy here. That's why I have to wear a mic. So I have to trellis things. This is my Althea plant. She's moved. This is her third move, or her second move, her third spot. But I think she's going to find success here. She's supposed to get super tall. I originally had her next to the house and it was just too hot. The idea was that she would get big and provide shade, but she was burning up over there. So yesterday I planted this little bed. This is a giant marigold. That is a buttercup squash, which I had horrible success with last year. And then out of the 8 that I planted, two or three germinated. So I got 2 or 3 plants out of the whole packet. It was from Burpees. Had a horrible experience. These are loofah I got from Beeb Seeds. That's another loofah, and that's another giant marigold. I have another one of these that I think I'm going to go ahead and put there just so it's symmetrical. I think I might put another loofah seed there. Had great germination. No, didn't have great germination on the loofah. Now that I think about it, I think I planted 4 and only got 2. So I'm going to try again. Put one there, put one there. I've got all of this fencing that they can climb up. So that's the idea, that they would just sprawl. I think they go like 20 feet. These will probably have some sort of tomato. This is what the dirt looks like before I put the manure in it. So that it's so good. Actually, that I think has manure. I've been putting my bird feeders, I'm moving them. So every bed has a bird feeder. Not quite yet. I've got a couple that I have to put up still. There's one over there. So these are looking amazing. My ground is so uneven, you can see, just because the previous owners had dogs. We have moles. It's horrible. That's one of the reasons I don't use longer beds, because they're already, let me back up a little bit and maybe you can see just how uneven they are. And there was no way I was going to try to level this out. The moles were just going to make it unlevel again. So that's why I'm using the short beds. Also, I like that I don't have to walk around a long bed. That was one of the things I didn't like about having 8-foot beds, was having to walk around. I also like the shorter width because I want to be able to sit down and just work the whole bed. And if it's 4 feet wide, I have to get up and go to the other side. Or actually what I end up doing is reaching way over and falling into the bed, or putting my knees in the bed, or whatever, instead of just getting up and walking around. And so I've had these beds over there at the trellis for 2 years now, and I just love it. I love that they're short and little. I made the pathways here with these beds wide enough that a riding lawnmower can get through them. The watering system will be hooked to the hose bib, which is right there. We also have another hose bib at the house right there. So half the garden will be watered over there and half of it will be watered over there. So that is how I would do it. That's how I am doing it, is starting a brand new garden. I would, my daughter asked me, oh, is that how big the garden's gonna be? I said, this year. This year. So another thing is these beds, because they're all the same, it's easy to add more. So I can expand next year, easily add more on in the row, right? They also make round ones, and I'll show you those in a minute. Here's a square one. I bought this bed like 5 years ago, and you can see how uneven it is. Look, it's just completely tipped because there's no flat place in this yard. So I bought this a million years ago. It was dark green, so I'm spray painting it. I have another can in there to put a second coat. And I just put it together because I had it. And this is what I've done with it. I think I've mentioned this. This is like my circle of life. And I think it'll be so funny to plant like onions and whatever in there. So it's kind of growing up, maybe some little flowers, alyssum or something. There is also a big stump under here. And my options were to rent a stump grinder or put a bed over it and know that there's going to be a shallow part that's kind of unusable. And that's what I chose to do. That's another reason why it's kind of uneven, because there is a big tree stump. This is Weaver weed barrier that I bought on Amazon, and I'll be cutting that off today or tomorrow. All of the beds have it. I used cardboard 2 years ago and didn't work. The cardboard broke down and the weeds started coming through. The backyard here, this is where I had that Althea. I had it in that corner there, and as you can see, this faces south and west. It was too much. It was too much for that poor plant. But the plan now is to just put weed barrier over this whole thing to there, cover it all up, because it's near impossible to mow back there. And there's like the septic clean out is there, and there's a couple other things that you just don't want to hit with a mower. So you can see there's kind of a hill, because I added dirt last year thinking I was going to plant it out, and I did, and it turned to weeds. As you can see, I put decent dirt out there, but it was just had all kinds of weed seeds in it. So the best plan now is just to cover it and then poke holes and in the weed barrier and plant stuff in, because the dirt is fine. The dirt's good. Maybe not so good on this side, but we'll see. Maybe put something there that, like a zinnia, that will grow in anything. And let me show you the round bed. Look at the kitties come out. I know. I'll feed you in a minute. So, talking about wooden planters, under this mess, you can sort of see, maybe down there's a wooden planter that's been there 2 years and it's completely rotted through. So I'm changing them out for these round planters. I showed you some at the front, or I will show you, I guess, I don't know if I showed you, that I'm going to be moving over here. So the clematis, these are meant to have clematis grow up them and provide some shade for the sunroom. That was the plan. Now only 3 of my clematis plants even made it. Can't imagine why. And so they're all kind of sad, but this year I'll buy the 4th one again, and we'll get them all set up. I don't think clematis is out yet. I think about it. These are the beds I've had for 2 years. Here's a grow bag. I know a lot of people love grow bags. I hate it. I'll show you guys later, maybe tomorrow. When I put this out last year, and when I flip it over, it'll be rotted in the bottom. That's why I don't like them. I think they dry out too fast as well. So I won't be using grow bags anymore. This is the bed that I used 2 years now. This year we'll have some beans and some melons on it. And I've got a dilemma. You saw the plants out there. We're supposed to have 49-degree and then like 45-degree nights. So what I'm thinking, you'll have to let me know in the comments, these are trash cans from the Dollar Tree, but I'm using them as cloches. And I'm thinking if I just wrapped like a Walmart bag over them, that should be good enough frost barrier, right? For the plants that are out there that I already planted. And today, of course, is so nice. Look, it's like cloudy out and nice out. I was thinking, oh, I could plant all those melons and the long beans and everything. And now I just don't know. Am I going to have to take those seedlings back inside tonight? I'm guessing I'm going to have to. So now I don't know, should I plant the things out today? I probably shouldn't, but I also kind of want to try. I want to see if these little cloches will work as a good barrier. Let's walk over here and see. These are the other circle planters I have. So 2 years ago, I had a bunch of flowers that we didn't end up putting out at the flower farm. And I didn't want to let them die. So we just, in an emergency situation, bought these, filled them up best we could, planted out the flowers, and the flowers were fine, and I did get some seeds from it. In my dream world, I would also take these beds, but obviously they have trees in them, and I think they might be a little too mature for us to move by ourselves. So those will be living there from now on, and the beds will be staying there. I'll be pulling out all that detritus and putting in new flowers this year. Another round. This was a berry. Oh, I said, but look at that. Look at that. What I thought was dead is not. There is my berry bush. How exciting. So berry bush is going to be getting moved here. I didn't even realize because the sticks, the branches are just, look at that. Why would I think that's alive? But of course it's alive. There it is. Nature finds a way, right? So we're going to go ahead and move that guy. I got to figure out where I'm going to put him. He's not going in the regular garden. Maybe I'll just put him out here with some support, because the plan is to get more berry bushes. So what if I just got a cattle panel and or I could just put it on the fence. What if I did that? What if I just planted it in the ground on that fence line there, and we could have berry bushes all along the fence line? That would be so nice. That would be nice. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll have to figure out a way to protect it so it doesn't get mowed over. But it's not going to be with a raised bed like this. Berries are going in the ground. That's what they're doing from now on. And this is our plum tree. Look at, he's doing so good. And he needs to have his bed cleaned out and probably amended with some more compost. Another little bed. We didn't even try. It's barely filled up. So those are the 3 round beds that'll be moved. I'm so glad to finally have some good weather in the morning, because I want to get up and do my garden stuff in the morning, but usually it's so cold. So I feel like this is summer coming on finally, or maybe the fullness of spring, that I can finally come out early in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock, I think, and get some things done without having to wait until noon, and then it feels like the day is half over. My plants fell over. Man, if these guys make it, these poor guys, look at this. I complain about the seeds and then I treat them poorly. Get them. These are zucchini. Oh, these are for the donation garden. They are sad. They need to go out. They won't be going out until the end of the first week in May. We have to rent a rototiller to put them in. So, actually, maybe we don't. Maybe I should go look at that spot. We pulled up the the billboard vinyl yesterday, and the grass is dead. Like, the grass looks amazing. There's no grass. My thought was we would rototill it just to loosen up the dirt because it's so much clay. But I'm wondering, rototilling, if we're not going to put any amendments in it, which we weren't planning on putting amendments in it, does it really matter? Do we need to rototill it? Maybe I'll go over there with a shovel today and just see how loose it is. I think we have a little bit of topsoil. My understanding is we have some topsoil, we have something else, and then about 12 inches down, it's just straight clay, like cement basically. And so you're going to get, it's just going to be wet all the time because it never completely dries, was my understanding. It's called fragipan is what our land is. It can be remediated, but it's a long process of growing certain grasses and other things, and we're going to do some of that too. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go over there today because those plants really want to go out. They're really sad. Let me see what I'm going to do today. I do want to get the rest of those clematis planted out. I need to finish amending the beds with the horse manure. I probably need to plan to bring the other seedlings in, make a couple cloches. I think that's what I will be doing today. I do have one little note that I want to ask you guys. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and there's been a little bit of talk about, building community and a lot of prepper stuff too. What are you doing to prepare in the event for, food prices to go up? Obviously, gas prices have gone up and will probably continue. Are you building community? I want to just harp on that. I say it every time that I feel like it's so important. I've not been amazing at that. It's been nice just staying home and not talking to anybody. I'm having a great time, but I also recognize that there's strength in community. And so I need to be better about reaching out to my neighbors, reaching out to like-minded people so that we can have those resources. We can consolidate our resources, right? If there were a time that people were hungry, I don't want people to be hungry if I have food, and I will have food. So other people are going to have other skills that can help me. So like the people that had the horse, and I could get some horse manure. So what are you guys doing? What are your thoughts on the state of the world today? Are you making plans to make your, food more secure? Are you working with your neighbors on that project? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me, guys.